That was nice. That was a nice little cheer right there, wasn't it? The strength that resides within us is the only power we need in order to become successful. The strength that resides within us is the only power we need in order to be successful. Be powerful beyond measure. You should not be able to even calculate your abilities because you truly don't know them. All you do is keep pushing. You know, a lot of people say, settle. You're never satisfied. You know how people always blame somebody else for their misery. It's never their fault. It's always somebody else. The reason why I say the power we have inside of us is all we need is because when we feel bad about something or we feel like something is stressing us, sometimes we gotta turn our own direction, our own interior self, onto something else that does make us smile, that does make us happy. Find some type of joy in a situation that's not the most joyful one. And 9 times out of 10, when you don't respect someone to be on time and you're 2 hours late or whatever, that means you don't respect your own self. That's what they don't realize. It's not that you don't respect the individual that you're going to speak to, because you wouldn't be able to respect them because you have no self-respect.
Right.
See, if you have self-respect, you already feel bad about walking into a meeting late. You already feel bad about that. You feel bad about that because you feel like people expect you there and you're not there. That's it. Now, if you have that, then naturally one hand holds the hand of the other, that you're going to respect the other person. If you have the self-respect, then you say when you have your pad and you listen to someone speak, you're actually attentive because you're feeling like, hey, I'm going to get something out of this. No matter how many people in the room. But if you're the one that's always, hey, when someone's talking and what you're saying is, I don't respect my own time. Now, of course, I know I'm guilty of it. If I'm sitting in front of someone and they're talking and I don't believe 90% of what they're saying, I'll shut down. That's different. That's different. Shutting down is different from not being in the room in the first place. You see? And you see, ignorance begets more ignorance a lot of times. You can't fight ignorance with ignorance. Somebody's got to be the grown-up. It's like when you get people going back and forth. If somebody doesn't stop, they will keep arguing. And the argument could turn violent. That's how fights begin. And that's one of the things in the entire world, if we could actually end up just seeing each other's mannerisms and paying attention to it, we could diffuse a lot of aggravations. Unnecessary. You're going to get some because we're human. And the human is the error. But let's just try to find joy. That's how I'm trying to tell my family. When we go through something, we are going to go through something. Just look for joy in it. Just look for joy in it. When you have a good team, depend on each other. But be dependable. Be accountable. So you can count on someone else. Because once you are accountable to someone, they feel less if they're not holding themselves to a certain standard, don't they? If you know that I'm going to bring it, you know I'm going to bring it. Don't you want to bring it too?
Exactly.
You feel kind of crazy if you see somebody just like we did, at the wedding, right?
Yeah.
We walked across, we were dressed up, we had our little, we're going to show off for our girl a little bit, but not be too much. Good that we did. Walk across the beach, beautiful setting, see people working. How did we feel?
Yeah.
Right?
We had to.
Right, we had to. I was like, okay, we ain't going to just sit here and watch these people set up.
Yeah.
And just stand there like this.
Right.
I mean, there's a choice. You could have done it. Could have said, let's wait in the cars or whatever.
Yeah.
But we did it's infectious. Once you see people start working, oh, give me some. What are you guys doing? Oh, trying to. I never did that stuff in my life. But we were doing it. And we were doing a pretty good job. It looks good. Look good. Right? The why was too great. The why was too great. One of our families was getting married. So the fact that there wasn't a team set up that stuff before they got there didn't matter.
Right.
The fact that it needed to be set up before she got there, did. Go to reception, same thing. I don't need no paycheck. I see you guys stacking chairs. Hey, where we going with this?
Right.
Boom. Push it in. Sweat a little bit. So what? Ain't nobody judging me. Right? But that's when you do things because you want to do it. You want to see the person happy. You want to keep the person happy. You don't want them having to do this stuff.
Right.
Right? But that's what happens when you see somebody put in some work.
Yep.
Remember what I told you before about somebody being stuck on the side of the road? If they're sitting in the car with the flashes on, you ain't really excited to help them, are you? You know, sometimes you just say, you might not even say, "There's somebody in the car." Keep on driving. But if you see somebody outside the car and pushing like this, it's hard for you to just drive by them. It's hard. You might still do it, but it's a little difficult now. Because now your mind is saying, man, I should help him or her. You might go around the corner and come on back. I've done it in suits, so I can tell you where I say, man, somebody will help him. That's our problem. We always say somebody else will do something that we could do.
Right.
They're sitting there struggling with back. Well, there's a lot of people over there. Somebody will help. Why can't I run over there? Right. And they're all saying the same thing. So the person doesn't get the help.
Yep.
You were giving this life because you were strong enough to handle it. From inception. Right?
Yep.
The moment you were conceived, you were fighting for your life. You were fighting to get here. Some were fighting harder than others, but we all are champions because we wouldn't be here. We weren't the only seed planted, but we were the most powerful. Make no mistake about that. That's the only reason any of us are here, because we wanted it more. You are special just to be here. Now, just being special don't cut it, does it? Just being special enough to be here don't cut it. Now what do you do once you get here? That's really what I mean by the strength that resides within us is the only power we need in order to become successful. Why do I say that? Because if you were the strongest of the swimmers, right? To not only reach the egg, but to penetrate it, to get into it, and fertilize it, to become who we are, right? And then you manage to survive. Okay, yes, with your mother's help. A lot of it, right? But for 9 months, you couldn't breathe air. You couldn't see anything. Right. And then you managed to come through birth. Y'all remember when I said, think about productivity, right? Instead of being counterproductive, be productive, right? Instead of being inactive, be active, proactive, moving forward. Don't worry about who doesn't do something. Just show them. Don't worry about it. If you have that attitude and truly develop that attitude, people will not talk to you any kind of way.